Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sambhu from Cloud Tech. Today I will show you how we can use Amazon ElastiCache, what the use of this one and what basically advantage and disadvantage about this ElastiCache, and then which all caching mechanism like distribute caching mechanism we can configure by using this ElastiCache. So this by naming itself you guys can understand like caching means like it's a kind of in-memory service which provide you instead of making call in the backend each and every time in that server level making the call, you can get that whatever entry you are looking, that entry you can get from this cache. And this Amazon Elastic Cache basically it support two caching mechanism. One is the Redis cache and other one is the memcached. Okay, so this two engine basically it will support, and I have a plan to give a demo by using Redis and as well as the memcached. And today's session, I am planning to give you like how we can configure the Redis cache, and then in real life example how we can use like programmatically way if you want to use by Python, or if you want to use by any EC2 instance, Amazon EC2 instance, how we can use. So I will show you both the thing. Okay, guys. And then in my next subsequent video, I will talk about memcached. Okay, guys. So I am already logged in that Azure. This is the AWS, sorry, AWS console, and I am in the Virginia region. If you click on search like Elastic Cache, you will get this, and this is what I have got here. And if you see like it's a performance, reliable and cost effective in memory caching, while complexity associated with the deploy and managing a distributed caching environment. And ElastiCache work both Redis and memcached. This is what the definition. Okay, guys. And it's this also possible like scale in, scale out. That also benefit is there. And there are defined use case you can use if I give the real life example where like suppose you have you have a application has that is like a backup application, or maybe e-commerce application, or maybe like a Netflix kind of thing application, right? In that application, instead of like each and every time whenever user hitting the request, right, some movie name or something, right, that what we can do by using this caching thing, we can store that to cache instead of make it so that it will be more performance thing. Basically each all this like a performance, because if you have some database query, suppose multiple table join or maybe select query, if you have some mechanism, right, to get the data from the database, so execute that query, it will take some time, right? So performance in the sense like once you execute it, then store the data in cache. If the cache is available, then no need to make the call back, you can get from the cache. So that's the benefit of that. So let's go how we can create. So let's get start here. And this is the option here. One is the first VPC is required. So if you not yet watch my previous video how we can create the VPC, I will recommend guys you can have a look. But today's session I will show you by default VPC, and then we'll create the cluster for Redis only. We'll go. Let's click on Redis. If you click Redis, but before that, let me tell you one more thing here. So if you want to create the either it's a Redis or memcached, right, you need the subnet group. So before creating the caching, because this is the thing we need actually, so before that let's create the subnet group here. Let's keep that. Something like that, and then select the default VPC. And for that VPC, which all like subnet is available, that you can select. uh, if you want, you can Azure also available. So for that minimum 2 subnet you have to select. Here you can select, like if you click here manage, like then you can select which are now by default all are selected. If you want, you can deselect also and you can select accordingly. But if you want AZ multi available availability zone, then at least 2 subnet here is required. Okay, guys. Then tag is optional. If you want, you can give it. Just like that. So subnet creation is done. So now let's go to again here and now click create. Here multiple option like to create, like one is the easy and that is the best practice and configure. You can always recommend to use this one, or if you have already an new cluster, this is also one, and if you have from backup restore, this one you can use. So let's go for easy. And this configuration section is very important, guys. So depend on what you are using, right? So if you are having production system, then you can use this one, because this is like a cost effective and some performance memory, all this thing will come, right? So if you are dev or testing purpose, you can use this one. For demo, I would, or learning purpose, I would recommend it use this one. So accordingly, whatever you select, that this it will get changed. Your charge, like for pricing charge, will get changed. Okay, guys. So let's give the name. Like that, any name you can give here. And then here network section, let's select the which network you want, IPv4, dual, or whatever you want. And then here we have a subnet group. I told you right before that I have created the subnet. If you don't have, then here if you click, then here itself you can create the subnet group also. There that option is also available, and here you can manage that same thing what we have done before creating. So I have already created, so let's select that existing one. So let's select here, and this is the thing we created, and these all the availability zone we selected, and then default settings. So this is like a what all thing is there, have port, right? So Redis cache basically port is 6379. So by default it is this is the port, like default port kind of thing. And these are the thing is there, which all is like you can modify, or which all you cannot modify, right? Node type, this is, since we are doing demo, this is that node type. And security group, the default security group selected. Then param group, this is the thing is selected. Engine version, these all are modified here. If you see, right, editable after creation also. If you want, which is yes is there, then that you can edit. Which is no is there, you cannot edit actually those. So that's the one more I can say, like engine version. If you want to modify later, you can modify that also. Okay. Then replication selected 0 as of now. If you want replication means, like suppose like multiple backup kind of thing, right? Or maybe when I am talking about EMR, all this thing, right? That time I will give more details about this replication. That time it will be very useful also. Replication means you, if you want to make the maintenance the backup copy, suppose instead of a single copy, if you want to make 2 copy, 3 copy, something like that. Okay. Now Azure is disabled by default. If you want, you can modify, and encryption that also disable, and automatic backup also. Now I have disabled. Okay. If you want, you can do that also. After creating also, this can be modifiable. If you see here, which all parameter sorry, you can modify, and which all you not able to modify, that option also here there, right? Tag is optional. If you want, you can give the tag, otherwise you can just simply create. Okay. Now it is started creating, so it will take some time to complete. Meantime, what we can do, since this caching I am planning to use from Lambda, right? So let's create one Lambda function also. So let's come here, Lambda, create Lambda, something like that, and let's select the Python version here, and then here, deep details I have already talked about. Today I will just quickly go to that. If you want, you can modify that settings also. Like if you want existing role, you can use existing role. If you want enable the VPC, let's select the VPC, our default VPC, and then choose the subnet here. And then let's select the security group. This one I have already explained deep details, guys, in my previous video. So if you not yet watch, I would recommend it. Please watch this in that high level, how we can configure the Lambda function. I already explained this, so I will suggest you to have a look that. So now clears, see the Lambda function creation is going on. It's in progress. So what about the status? This is also creating. Okay, let's go here. And one more thing, since we are trying to access this Redis cache, right, from Lambda, right? The Lambda basically need the dependency, right? Redis dependency. Let me show you the code so that you will get clearly understood. So this is the Redis Lambda function I have written, and here we are planning to import this Redis, right? So this dependency is required, right? So I have already explained like how we can add that this kind of dependency through AWS layer, right? So if you guys not yet watched my previous video about how we can add the create the layer, this kind of dependency, I will give that link to this video description. So I have already created the layer, so let's use that layer. And if you guys have any doubt about the how to create layer or anything, please put the doubt in this video comment section. I will address that. And also I would recommend you please watch that layer, how we can create the layer, all that video, please watch it. Okay, so now add layer and Python, choose that existing, specify ARN if you want, or custom layer. Here we have created one already, right? So version also we have two, so let's select this. This is the layer I have created where I have included Redis dependency. Okay guys, let's add this one. So now it is adding this layer so that we can access. Otherwise, it will give that this module is not found. What it's showing pending. Okay, because we are not able to modify. Why? Because this lambda, that lambda, whatever. Okay, let me go to permission issue. Right? This in the following state, pending state, creating. Creating function. Oh, still that lambda function, it is in creating state. Huh? Okay, okay. So just a minute. Let's see. It's still in creating since we configured a VPC all, right? So that's why it is taking time. If you guys not specified VPC all, then it won't take this much time at least. So that's why it is taking time. Just a minute. Let's see what it is happening here. Meantime, what we can do, we can launch one EC2 instance also, because I will show you how we can connect from EC2 instance also. So let's come here, running. Let's launch instance. Redis, something like that. Let's select this default. Let's select the key pair here. Let's select the security group, which I have already explained the security group all this video. So I will, if you guys have any doubt or if you want to see more details, I will recommend it. Watch my previous video about the security group. So this is done. So let me see instances launching here. Okay, so Redis is going on. What this Python? Python still is going on now. Okay. Yeah. What about Redis? This is also still creating. Yeah, still it is in creating mode. Okay. So okay. Yeah, now it is created. If you see, now Lambda function is created. Now we good to add this layer here. Check. Yeah, now layer is added here. So we are good here. So if you see one is there, right? It was 0. And if you just click here, if you want to modify, you can modify also. Please have a look layer video. So how we can modify, how we can create the layer, you will get idea, because this is required. Otherwise you can't access this Lambda from that Redis. And for that, what dependency I have added, let me show you that. So this Redis I have added in that. Okay, guys. Show you that. Okay. Now let's create this REST. These are the environment variable, Lambda environment variable. So more details I have already explained in my previous video about this environment variable, what basically and what purpose we can use. So let's create this and value. Once this Redis is created, right, we can get this value. So let's add another one and port we need here. So Redis host name, Redis port. Password is the optional. If you have any password, then only you need to give. Otherwise, you no need to give. So let's give this. Value we need to give. Still creating mode. It is still creating. Still it is creating. If you see here, right, it is still creating. So it used to take some time to deploy because they are distributed cluster mode, right? So name engine here, it will come some endpoint. So what is going on? Store it. And here, if you want, you can select a multiple node also. So I have selected only single node because this is a demo, right? So let's still going. Meantime, what we can do, save it. We'll edit later this value and coming to code section. Let's add our code. Let's explain the code, what I have written here. Let's take this code here. Let's import. So what I am going to do this, if you don't know about this Lambda, right? So please watch my previous video. I have already explained this part. So what I am going to do, I am reading from environment variable like Redis host. And if you have any password and the port. Okay, guys. Once we have all these things, right? If you don't provide anything, then we are sending like this. This is mandatory, and it will we are returning in like a internal server error kind of thing. Once we got all the details, right, then I am getting the Redis connection. Like this is the Redis constructor. In this, what I am passing host endpoint and decode response, I am true. So by using this one, we can get the Redis connection client. Once we get right, then we are good to set like now I am setting one key cloud tag and then Redis demo from Lambda Python. This is the value I am setting. Then next to that, I am just trying to get this value from the cache. This is what I am trying to do. From Lambda, I am trying to connect the Redis, and then from that, what I can say from this whatever value we set to this cache, then I am trying to get that value. So this is what, and if any exception is there, then I am doing this exception failed to connect, and then we are returning 500. Or else, if everything is done, then I am returning 200 message like welcome to Elastic Cache demo from Cloud Tech, something like that. Okay, guys. So let's deploy this one. This is running. This is also still running. Okay. So meantime, what we can do, let's come to Redis one. EC2 also, we can make it ready meantime. So let's come here. Let's connect the EC2 instance here. User. Use the private key. Okay. Let's connect this. Better to update. It won't ask -y means I hope you guys know this all Linux command. If you have any doubt, let me know. I will hear some session about this little chit chat about Linux also. Yum. Let's install Redis. To find the match. Why? Check that for the package. This is memcached one. Redis. This is the package, right? Redis. Why it is saying Redis is not found? Okay, just the Redis. If you forget, right, then you can search here Redis install on other internets. Could be the command. So it is deployed. Okay, so let me see. What could be the command? Just a minute. Just a minute. Sudo yum install Redis only. This is the command. Why it is not updated? Let me try again. Okay, due to some XYZ reason, it is not installing, guys. So I will give those steps in this video link. Okay, how to I will figure out this one. But let's see by Python how we can connect. Okay, so this is done. Let me see. Okay, now Redis is available. So now come here. If you see here endpoint details, it will give the endpoint. If you see, this is the endpoint, right? So let's select this endpoint. Let's add to this Lambda. So go to the configuration, edit this, and let's add the that is host, that is the endpoint, and then add the port here 6379 and port here and password. Okay, so now save this one. Now it is saved. Okay, so now let's try here. Code section. Redis menu. Let's run it. Python, some error is there. Under here, what error? Starting cluster connected demo. Redis something. Okay, some variable. Let me come here. Redis connection. Error necessary. Okay, the third one. Okay, let's change this one. Deploy. Now updating. So now test again. See, we are returning. This is the response body 200. And we have added this Redis endpoint, and then we start Redis connection connected, and then Redis demo from CloudTech. See, this is what we added, right? Connected and then Redis demo from CloudTech. Let me show you that this is the key we have added right here. If you see CloudTech, we had a Redis demo from CloudTech, and this is what we are reading from there, right? So if you see result, we are able to read. So this is how we can connect the Redis from Python. So one more thing I can try here. So let me see. Yes. And then try to connect that if it is possible. Let me see. Just want to show you that. That's since Redis client CLI is we are not able to do, right? So copy this. Trying to connect. See, it is connected, right? So whatever key we have given, right? Let's see. See, this is the key we have given, right? If you see, now we can set also, yes. Set suppose name equal to suppose name what I can give. Suppose give some name. Okay. Now set is okay, right? Now let's try to get name. See, we are getting name. Suppose get what CLOUD cloud tech. This is the key, right? See, Redis Python. Whatever we are able to access from that Lambda, let me show you that. Let's change that. Here we set that value, right? Now let's go to the upper Lambda function and then change this key to, or maybe one more key we'll add here. So let's add here was name. Okay, now deploy. Actually, I was planned to install the Redis CLI, and then from CLI, I thought I will connect. So since it was not working, so in my mind now instance came one more idea like, okay, let's try by telnet also we can connect. Let's try we can connect or not. But yeah, it's good. We are able to connect from EC2 by telnet also. So this is how we can connect from telnet. So if you see, right, okay, let me show you the results. See here, whatever name I added that, I set this caching to this file from that what I can say from the Redis itself in the client its server itself, and then here by Lambda I am trying to access, right? I'm able to fetch, right? So this is how we can do. And if you want to see like what all key is there, key is just key star. If you enter, so see in my case 2 keys there. So this is the key and name and cloud tech. Okay, guys, and name is the 4 character. This is the 4 character, and cloud tech is the 9 character. So that's what it is for. How many character is there? So this is how we can configure Redis, and we can connect the Redis from that EC2 instance to what I can say the Redis server, and then if you want you can set get all these things we can do. And from Lambda also, maybe in a real life scenario, right? If when we are real life we are working, right? So basically maybe from EC2 instance by application you want to access, right? Maybe this kind of Python code you have to write, and then from that Python you have to get. And but if it is not a Lambda, right? Maybe this port all you can create a some properties file, and from their properties file you can get it. Or maybe in Python you can create some env dot one environment file, and then from that environment file you can read those values dynamically. Basically, instead of if you just hardcode to the code, right, then what happened, like every time you have to face that those like if some today now that this is the endpoint, maybe that endpoint gets changed, right, then you have to again reconfigure that code. You need to redeploy that code. So that kind of, instead of to overcome that redeploy code, instead of changing code, if you just change here, like tomorrow suppose that password got changed, right, what you can do, you just go to environment variable and edit, and then here just change the password. Or maybe the endpoint got modified, right, just come here and edit this. You no need to redeploy that code. So that's the benefit. Okay, guys, so I hope this session will helpful. And with one more thing, guys, what I was trying here earlier, like I tried to install the Redis CLI here, but I'm not sure why this latest AWS that CLI is not found. Maybe this 2023 that installation, like maybe different version of Redis RPM I need to install. That I will put this video link, that comment what are Redis CLI. If you want CLI, then what you need to install, I will give this to in this video description. And Another alternate approach to connect this server like by telnet. So this is the telnet. So telnet also was not there in this 2023. So what I have done, I have installed the telnet by using this command. We can install. Similarly, I was trying to install Redis also, but somehow this package is not there. And then once this install this one, then telnet basically command is telnet host name and then port. I will give this command also in this video description. Okay, guys. So I hope this session will helpful to you guys, and if you like and if you feel this video is valuable to you guys, then I will suggest you please guys support me by using subscribe my channel and share with your friend. That will really inspire me and that will really help to me. Okay guys, see you in my next video in for memcached. Okay guys, chalo bye.